In today's episode of Hobby Eats, we try the different variety of Milky Way. And because they are so similar and that there's only two, I decided to throw the Three Musketeers in there. Let's go ahead and give these a try. Well, not too long ago, we just went through our Halloween season, which is when the midnight tends to come out and be a little more prevalent. And in our Halloween giveaway, so all the kitties, little mini Milky Ways and then some regular Milky Ways were in there, along, of course, with some of the little mini Three Musketeers. So, of course, I've tried a couple of them, and something that caught my eye was the look of the Milky Way. I was expecting it to maybe just be a dark chocolate Milky Way, but there's actually so much more going on in here that brought on the idea to go ahead and do this comparison. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of the different bars. Here we have your traditional Milky Way. It says it is 230 calories per serving. Where I went with the larger bars. Hopefully, so when I cut these in half, it'll be a little easier to really be able to take a good look at what everything looks like. That's why I went with these larger bars. But there is the regular Milky Way, previously broken up into two, where they say a single bar is the serving size. So one of these bars is 230 calories. Then we have the Midnight, which is a little less at 180. Again, it is two bars in there, and they also say the serving size is one bar. So there are significantly less calories in the Midnight as opposed to the Milky Way. And you can kind of see that even just before we open these up, the Midnight looks smaller. And here, 3.6 ounces and a 2.8. Yeah, this is definitely a larger bar. Then we have the Fudge at 190. Serving size one bar. And of course, there are two in here. 190 calories. And let's see, where does this say? And 3 ounce. So once again, even though this looks bigger, it's a little longer. The traditional Milky Way is still the largest bar yet. And then finally, we have their new salted caramel Milky Way at 210 calories. Again, we can see that there are two bars in here. Serving size one bar and a 3.1. So once again, smaller than your traditional Milky Way, which is probably why it does have that slightly larger calorie count. Next, we have the Three Musketeers. Again, there are two bars in here with a calorie of 210. Let's see, and a serving size of one bar. So there we're still pretty good, 210. And a, wait, where are you? Is 3.28. So again, that Milky Way is the largest of all of these thus far. Let's see, 210, 3.2, there's a 210, 3.16. So actually, these two calorie-wise are amazingly very similar. I would not have imagined that, being that this has that salted caramel in there. Oh, that'll be interesting to see what the difference are between those. And then we have the special Milky Way, their birthday cake Milky Way. Again, two bars, 130 calories, 2.14. So significantly less, a whole ounce less here. serving size 1 bar. Let's go ahead and open all of these up and see what they look like. Well, here are all of our bars unwrapped so we can take a look at them. They vary massively in size, in both length and thickness. That was something that I really was not expecting too much. Additionally, you can see a very distinct difference in the color of the chocolate. I'm guessing it's going to be by the amount of milk, how milk chocolate they are, where these three are the lightest of them. I'm guessing it's going to be a much stronger milk chocolate, this being the next hue up, a little darker, so probably a little less milk in the milk chocolate. And then finally, we have our dark chocolate in the midnight. But before we get into the tasting, one thing that I really like to do is rank things and do those kind of comparisons. And I thought this might be a unique chance to do a before and after. What do I think the ranking is going to be before I even try them? And then what do I think it's going to be then after it? So let's go ahead and set this off to the side. I am guessing that my bottom tier is going to be just the birthday cake milk Musketeer, just nougat and chocolate. I bet these are going to be the more boring of the candy bars. So then, of course, the next one will be the 3 Musketeers. I'm putting the birthday cake on the bottom because I'm guessing this is just going to be way, way too sweet. Next, I'm guessing, is going to be the regular Milky Way. Up next, I'm guessing, will be the Midnight. Let's zoom out a little. Follow that up by, I'm betting I will like the Caramel next, with the Fudge being my favorite. I am a huge chocoholic, so I am betting the more chocolatey flavor is going to be my favorite. So I bet you're wondering, well then why wouldn't I like the dark chocolate more? With this one, with the vanilla nougat and the graham flavored caramel, I'm guessing this is going to actually be number 3, and I'm betting I'm going to like this better because I do like that flavor change. So that sweet and salty that we'll get with that salted caramel, I'm betting I'm going to really enjoy that. It'll be interesting to see how they fall after we've actually tried them and given them all a go. Well, let's go ahead and cut each one of these open so we can see what they look like on the inside. Well, here we have our different bars cut open. And let's see here. First, we will take a look at the Milky Way. It is written as a rich chocolate, creamy caramel, smooth nougat. And you can see that is a huge caramel layer right there. As you can see, when we kind of just look down the line, it is definitely the largest amount of caramel. I would say with these ones, the salted caramel would be next, and the Midnight and Fudge look about equal when it comes to caramel, that thickness. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Midnight. Dark chocolate, golden caramel, vanilla nougat. Whoa. Way off. Dark chocolate, golden caramel, vanilla nougat. And there we go. We can take a closer look. And this one right here is kind of what got the whole thing started. Look how white that nougat is. When I bit into one of the small little bars and I saw that and I thought, wow, that is surprisingly different. I wonder what they all look like. And it kind of got this ball rolling. Next, we have the Fudge, and this one is written as milk chocolate, creamy caramel, and fudge nougat. Let's take a closer look at that one. And finally, we have the salted caramel, milk chocolate creamy caramel, crunchy salt, smooth nougat. Here we go. So it'll be interesting to see where that, you maybe can kind of see it mixed within the caramel. Maybe they have the salt mixed in there. I wasn't sure if it was going to be like, you know, drizzled on top or mixed in somewhere, but it looks like from what we have here, because it's definitely not on the top, and maybe you can kind of see little indentations in that caramel. That might be where that salt is hidden. Next, let's get to the Three Musketeers. And let's see, where do you describe the Three Musketeers? I'm kind of surprised I'm not seeing any kind of description like we usually see. There we go. Here we go, finally. Whipped up, fluffy, chocolate on chocolate taste. There it is. So that looks like it's going to be a chocolate nougat and just the chocolate shell. Now let's go ahead and do a closer comparison between the Milky Way and the Three Musketeers. This one is definitely a lighter colored of nougat. So again, it kind of goes with also the color of the chocolate, where this is a lighter chocolate or a more milky chocolate. I bet the same applies to both the nougat and the chocolate, where this is more a milky and this is a little more chocolatey. And then finally we have the birthday cake variety. Let's find that description on here somewhere. It's got to be on here somewhere. Birthday cake, you're my one wish. There it is. Vanilla flavored nougat with colored sprinkles and rich milk chocolate. There we go. Let's take a look. And again, that color looks very familiar. They're just weird. This is maybe whiter, but seeing those colored sprinkles in there, it's a bit weird looking. I'm betting that's going to be extremely sweet. Well, let's go ahead now, get to the fun part. Let's give them a try. First up, with the regular Milky Way. Give that a try. Very chewy because of that caramel. And something that caramel does is it causes you to take a lot longer to eat that bit of chocolate. So the flavors seem to be extended a little bit, and it also kind of mixes everything in together. Pretty sweet though because of that caramel. The caramel is definitely adds a good chew to that, but then ups that sweet level. So of course we will set your first one. It's got to be number one for the beginning. Next we will have the Midnight. Very good. Yep. I like that stronger chocolate flavor. Not as sweet as the traditional Milky Way. We have a new number one. Next we'll go into the fudge. Same kind of texture going on. Same chew. Amazingly, the flavors are not as drastically different as I was expecting. Again, this one definitely has a stronger chocolate flavor. So it's going up. So the more chocolate you like, the more up this range of candy bars you're probably going to want to go. Here will be the most unique of them all with that caramel, or that salted caramel. Give that a try. And there's actually a little bit of a crunch in there. You definitely can taste that salt. Crunch it. That's definitely number one. Very unique. That salt adds a ton, and it kind of stays on your tongue a little longer than wrong way. And it stays on your tongue a little longer than just these in general. And it does add that little bit of extra, where this is just sweet and sweet and sweet, you know, with a chocolate flavor, but sweet and sweet and sweet. That little bit of savor, that little bit of salt going in here really breaks it up and makes for a really great candy bar. That one, if you are a fan of caramel candy bars, caramel forward candy bars, that new salted caramel, that's a hit. That's good. Next we have the traditional Three Musketeers. Very light, very airy. Very chocolate forward. So I like caramel. It's not my favorite aspect. I definitely was thinking that this would be lower on my list, but I do think I like that Three Musketeers. Once you actually can try them all together and give them all a go, I do think I like that Three Musketeers better than just the plain Milky Way. Though once you start getting into the more dark chocolate, that caramel then adds that little bit, and that fudge, once you start getting into those even more caramel or chocolate heavy flavors, it does start to go forward a little bit and keep the Milky Ways high. But in just the Three Musketeers Milky Way to comparison, amazingly, I never would have imagined. I do think I like that Three Musketeers a little better. And finally up, the birthday cake variety. Very light, very airy. Not as sweet as I thought it was going to be, but definitely the sweetest of them all. And I want a little more in my candy bars than just eating a handful of sugar from a bag. Amazingly, I'm not getting... I was hoping to get maybe some crunch or something from those sprinkles that were in here. That would have been wonderful to have that slight textural change. I would have loved if we could have had that crunch of those sprinkles. That probably would have elevated this one a little higher. But as it sits like this is just sweet on sweet on sweet. Again, not what I'm looking for in a candy bar. So there you guys, there we have it. They are my Three Musketeers Milky Way comparison of the different varieties that I was able to get my hands on. I hope this helped you to decide if any of these might be ones that you would be interested in getting and trying. And if so, I hope I helped you to determine which ones you might lean more forward to. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.